What's going on, guys? Matt at Middleton Motorsports here. We got another GT500 up on the dyno today, 2020. And this one is bright orange lid. So we'll kind of go over what we got going on under here. JLT cold air, VMP Predator lid with a Predator intercooler. It's got a 285 pulley on it, and it's got Kooks 2-inch headers with a Borla catback with the SwitchFire crossover. So we got some pretty loud exhaust noises this thing makes. I think it sounds pretty awesome. I got pretty much the same setup on my car. I got a different brand header, but he's got a lot of dress-up stuff going on under here. He's got some other stuff going on, but yeah, I mean, pretty basic package. This pretty much follows kind of our 900 package, or sorry, our 800 package. This owner did the work himself, but very similar to what we would call our MM800, with just those simple bolt-ons. So pump gas, the 93 octane is we're running on this. We're not doing any 85 or any fuel injector change or anything like that. Stock throttle body. The supercharger is not ported, so just the stock supercharger. So basically just those basically external bolt-on stuff. And he does road race this car, so that's why we did suggest him go with the VMP cooler and the taller lid for the taller cooler, which definitely makes a big difference on road course. We don't see a whole lot of gains on the dyno out of these mods, and I've talked about that before in previous videos. But when you get on the road course, that lid and cooler is 40 degrees, runs 40 degrees cooler than the stock lid, especially once you start pulleying stuff. Even with the stock pulley, we were seeing 170 to 100, even 175 degree intake temps. The manifold, the supercharger temp, which is red on the back of the lid. With this lid and cooler, 130, 135 on a hot day. So we definitely see a big drop. And again, a car like this with a pulley on it, you're going to see even more of a gain from where you would be to where you are with this lid and cooler. So far, this is where we're at. Upper 700s. This car does have Toyo 888s on it, and these tires, those 888Rs, those things get really gummy, just like a slick or a drag radial on the dyno. So they rob a little power versus like the stock Cup 2s or like a Michelin Super Sport or something that would come on a stock on a GT500. So we're down a little bit because of the tire. Normally, again, this package would be real close to 800 at the wheels. The last two I did, one was 800, one was 815. But I was running those on the Cup 2, the stock GT500 carbon Cup 2 tires, which just dyno higher. They're less sticky, less drag on the roller. So I'm pretty happy with where we're at so far. I'm going to do one more pull just to back this up. I got the tune dialed in. So I'll get that on video, and we'll take a look at the data log quick, and we'll wrap this one up. Alrighty, so final pull on this one. Let's take a look at the final numbers here. So 785 was that final pull. Now, I will go back and we did see that. I did see that pull this morning, and I'll kind of explain this too. That pull was on a warm engine. So we had a warm engine. I just got the coolant temp and the oil temp up to temp, but the supercharger was still cold. So it'll read a little higher, obviously. And that, again, that's just, once you do 2 or 3 pulls, it's warm out, the supercharger gets hot, and they make a little less power. So that's what it'll make on a cold blower. But again, I don't always show that stuff because it's not really real world. These cars you don't pull them out of your driveway and immediately go racing them, race them. When you're racing them, they're always gonna be warmed up, the hood's shut, the blower's hot. And so I always like showing the actual real world, everything hot type of number. We could do some, you could let the thing sit over, again, that 789 was literally right away this morning. And I didn't show it right away because I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit. And sometimes you can even have more extreme case. If it's cooler out, like the shop was 50 degrees overnight, and you get in it, start the thing up, you get it spinning up on the roller right away, you get the oil and coolant up to temp, the bottom of the engine will be warm, but that blower will not have heat soaked and will have not taken any of the heat from the engine on yet, and you'll still have a cold blower lid, and sometimes they'll make even bigger difference. So I don't always show the cold number because I just don't really think it's relevant, because that's not how the car gets run. But just to show you guys, it does make a difference. Again, that green line was right away this morning. The blue one, or sorry, the red one was the one I did prior to the video that I showed you earlier in the video at the start. And obviously the blue run was the one I just did that you guys saw on film. So supercharged cars, or especially pump gas stuff like this, it's very sensitive to heat, and you can have numbers swing even more than this, even on a cooler day. Again, if the blower was 50 degrees, or if you had sitting outside and you pulled it in on a cool day or a cool night, and you pulled it in, strapped it down, and ran it up, and the blower lid was 50, 60 degrees, it might make might make almost 800 wheels. So just to show you guys that, I'd like to share those little tidbits and those little details of information that you don't always see on the internet, and you're always going to see in all the videos you see out there of stuff getting dynoed. So, yeah, again, let me pull this up. Hopefully we don't get too much glare here. So you can see the timing is sawing a little bit, and that's just the HFX system working. He does put unleaded race fuel, like 100 octane, in this when he tracks it. So I did leave, I did basically kind of tune around that, because I know he's going to be doing that. So if he does put a little bit of octane in it, he won't get these. So this is pulling about a degree on the top end, but if he does put race gas in it, the HFX system will put some timing into it, and it will learn up to about 21 degrees, which is probably going to be another 10 or 15 horsepower. But I wanted to dyno it how he brought it to us with the 93 octane in it, just to see what it makes on that. So he does do some stuff where they do autocross, road course, a dyno competition, car show type of thing. He does some events like that where it's multiple different, I wouldn't say skill, but multiple different tests of the car, and then they add the points up, and that's what he wants to do with this car, and he's done it in the past. So that's kind of what we're setting it up for. So because he did tell me that he does want to put some higher octane fuel in it, he mixes it in with pump gas, he's going to get a couple of points of octane, and it will bring this timing up a little bit out at the top. And he will make another 10 or 15 at the wheels, so he'll be close to that 800 mark. So everything else, air fuel, when we're on pump gas in these cars, I like to run the Lambda about 0.79. It's rich, it's not too rich where we're losing power, but it's rich enough to kind of have the maximum amount of timing. Boost on this is, I'm seeing just shy, we're seeing just about 14 pounds of boost on it. Again, stock supercharger, stock throttle body. So, and I'll kind of show you guys that. We'll go back and look at the dyno graph when you pulley these non-ported blower stock throttle body combinations. The power will kind of lay flat. You'll get a little bit of a boost increase up here, but the power kind of will just lay over, because you kind of hit the limit of what the inlet, the stock throttle body and the inlet of the blower is really going to do. The main part of that's the stock supercharger inlet. It's got this big kind of air vein, this V-shaped kind of air vein in there, and that's to help promote low speed torque and help the blower grab air at lower supercharger speeds and lower engine speeds, but it kind of hurts it up in the top end. So when you put a pulley on them, you really start to kind of see that. But yeah, everything else, the fuel trims on this are, again, these are closed loop all the time. So it's taking feedback from the sensors. So my closed loop learning, and I can highlight it like right here. You can see I'm pretty close. It's pulling a little bit there, 2% negative. Yeah, so I'm like right there. Fueling is right on, sparks where I want it, and this is looking really good. Logging fuel pressure and injector pulse width, all that stuff, everything is really good on this. So this guy's going to be all set to race. So, but yeah, so you can kind of see, I'll just mention this quick before I end this one. So you can kind of see how this kind of flattens out. You can kind of really see it on that green line. And let me just close it so we're just looking at one. It's easier to look at. Yeah. So again, that was the run this morning right away. You can see right here at like 7,200, it just kind of flattens out. Look at it like a ported blower car. This is just going to keep climbing all the way to like 8,200. And it's just because we're hitting an airflow limit. Again, you kind of hit the airflow limit of the blower itself, of the inlet of the blower. And that's where the blower porting really helps, is once you get them above these RPMs, you really pick up a bunch. You do lose a little bit down low, but again, nothing wrong with this setup like this. Makes a really flat power curve. And I mean, we've had customers set some pretty fast lap times with this similar combination at some of the local tracks. So yeah, I'm happy with this. He's going to feel a bit of a difference from where he was. He was making, I can go back and find that. Yeah, so that was his previous, where we had done, he had a cold air, the pulley, and no tune. So he just had the JLT, he just had the 285 pulley, and stock tuning. So you can really see the difference in the tuning, and then what the headers did up here, you can really see. So this drop is the cat protection, the factory cat protection that enriches the mixture, extremely rich, to try to help keep the catalytic converters cool. That gets turned off right about 6,800 RPM, so you can see it kind of comes back up here. And so there's no catalytic converter enrichment up here. So the two air fuel ratios between these two is about the same, but you can see the headers is, I can bring my cursor up if I can see it here. Okay, so you can see that you pick up about, 20 some horsepower just with the headers, with the increased flow of the headers. So yeah, almost 30 wheel right there, just in that little spot I picked, just random spot I picked. So that's going to be a pretty big difference from where, we talk, when I'm talking peak to peak, it doesn't look like a whole lot. We're talking just about 30 wheel, but we're talking this over the rev range of not having this drop in power and then having to kind of come back, and the ability to rev it higher. I up the shift points on these things from, where they're shifting at 73, 7,400, we're shifting at 7,900. And so now your shift recover's up higher. So the average power made throughout the rev range, through when you're racing and you're wide open throttle, is quite a bit greater. So it'll be a big noticeable difference from where he was to where he is now on that red line. So that'll wrap it up for this one, guys. Thanks for watching the channel, and check all our socials for all our good content, and we'll talk to you guys later.